We're going to the unit. Can I offer this McGrib in here real fast? Yeah, that's afterwards. You crazy? Yeah.
God, man. Man, I just, I understand these things happen, and these types of situations, you got to figure it out. And I don't know what to do. It's like I keep pushing our positive notion about and informing people about prison and what's going to happen, and also the success stories are actually really, really prevalent. Some good guys who went to jail and came home.
A lot of them, bro. A lot. And then you don't hear so much of it because they be to themselves now. You'll have a couple of them, like our man Christopher Wild, what's his name?
Who?
That we had up here on the podcast. Christopher Willis, man. Shout out to Christopher Willis down there with the great work of the jail content, not to be glamorizing or glorifying it, but bringing awareness. You have a lot of dudes, that come home that be just like us, but they to themselves now. If it wasn't for you, I'd have been to myself. I would have never did this. I'm being honest with y'all, but I feel good about doing it. I had someone help me and pull me in a direction to be a motivational speaker. That's all we is up here. We're motivational speakers, man. We're trying to deter you from going to jail. That's our main goal. I hate prison, and I ain't trying to go back. So if I can not go back, I'm going to try to help a couple other people not go back. But that's all it is. But a lot of dudes, man, come home and be in their ways. They know how to conduct themselves now as men. They know the right from wrong fully. They know how to address a situation because of the time they did. But they're not vocal. They're not out there trying to help. They're not on a platform trying to spread. But that don't make them wrong because they ain't doing that. They just to themselves. And they know how to conduct theirs and everything underneath their, guidance. That's it, bro. A lot of dudes be standoffish like, man, I ain't telling them young boys nothing. They'll learn.
And it's crazy now. Like, a lot of these young boys got firearms, like 12 years old. Like Spada was saying, it's 12-year-olds up in the juvenile facility with like multiple murders.
Yeah, I know.
How you 12? Multiple murders.
I don't know.
We might have had guns at that young though, but we weren't trying to kill them. We was trying to get some money.
Yeah. Yeah. It ain't about no money nowadays.
Yeah, it's like I said, we talk about that indictment with YBC. I was like a indictment. You never seen nothing about you ain't seen nothing about no money.
At all.
Like, dang. All murder.
My man, Peaceful Journey 7228. Oh no, he erased it. But I still quoted though. He said, Iftar's in jail forever after they done whooped my daughter with a belt.
Iftar's forever.
Hey, Ramadan, he hit that joke.
I mean, at that point, it might do that, man. Like, you gotta, enforce some type of punishment on them. Like, you can't let you just get away with that, bro. Like, you gotta know better. This is a girl.
Mm-hmm.
Has nothing to do with the beef.
Mm-hmm.
You want to beat her with a belt in front of a store and record it too?
I want to respond back to this. Hewden the biggest. Hewden the biggest.
I don't do this.
7906. If I'm saying that correctly, but he gonna know what I'm talking about. But he said, it ain't just the youngin. The youngins, you old MFs far going too. You are absolutely correct with your assessment in that, statement. Us old people is fools, man. It took us a long time to get here where we at. So I'm gonna speak for myself. I was a fool. Sometimes I can still be a fool, but I got some common sense with me now. I got a little bit of it. Matter of fact, I got a lot of it. To be up here even talking about this, these topics and stuff. Like me and my brother bring these topics to y'all at an alarming rate. But yeah, like I always tell him, we don't just classify the young boys and attack them, like going at them like y'all need to do. No, because it start with us. Because they only copying what they see done. Mm-hmm. That's all they doing. They just don't wake up and be like, oh, a gun. I want a gun. Just think of a gun. No, they sing that, so they mimic it. They think it's the thing to do. They think it's a fad. So yes, you are absolutely right. It start with the old mother effers, like you said.
Yeah, it's a terrible, terrible situation, man. You know what I mean? It's just like sometimes older guys don't get it yet.
Was it ever a time me and Fik ain't speak? Yeah, when he left me when I was jail, he turned his life around, right? And who said that? So Mr. Lomdis, if I'm saying it right, Mr. Lomdsa. He said, was there ever a time that you and Fik didn't speak? Yeah, he left me high and dry one time in jail, man. Caught him one time. This is the time he still was playing around in the streets, but I was indicted. He was at the gate of making a transition to changing his life. And I understand now in hindsight on a damn, this is why he had to do that. He had to go recalibrate himself. And when you recalibrating yourself, you got to let everything go that was present in your life. You got to when I say let it go, meaning give it some distance where you can have full control of your thoughts without no interference from no outside other thoughts. If you really want to change yourself, and that's the start. You still got a whole lot more to do other than just think it through. You got to walk it through now, actually walk it. And it was like about 2 years that we didn't speak for. I was locked up and he was home.
I think it was that. I think like a year or some change, probably.
Probably something like that. But I was around about 2. You know what I'm saying? And the next time I talked to him again, the funds was low. I'm like, yo, send me a deuce real fast. You know, I know my man out there getting a whole lot of money and all that. Deuces don't be nothing. I can get 2 of them in a month. And he like, well, shoot, I got about a little 30, but $30? What you out there doing, cuz? And man, I'm done, man. And I'm thinking he playing because I know I was just out there with you like a couple years. Like I know the routes we was going to get some money. We ain't just sitting around doing that. But the man absolutely turned his life around. He's like, what they say, 360? I'm gonna say 900,000 degrees he did. And that comes with a curve. Like it comes with letting go things and then bringing back stuff that you want to put in your life. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that did happen.
And that was the hardest thing I ever did in my life. Hardest thing I ever did in my life. I like it's nothing else that, I mean, there's some other things, but that right there was the hardest transition I ever made in my life, man. Like, I ain't gonna lie. I mean, like, people don't really understand that joint. That's why when I see people that's like, man, I want to change, it's hard to program yourself when you solely dependent on doing something and that's all you know how to do. Or at least you think that, and then you just stop. And you're trying to figure it out, and you don't want to do it no more. But it's like, it's a tough, if you can make it through it, though, and you get through it, you'll be a whole different person. So that's even the young boys, whoever you is, old or young. If you can do it, it's going to be, now listen, you're going to get tested in that. You're going to lose a lot. You're going to, your availability is not going to be there. You're trying to figure it out. You're trying to just do everything different. You're going to get tested financially. That's probably the first thing you get tested with, financials. And then once you can get past the fact of not being able to, live a certain lifestyle anymore, you'll be okay. I mean, but that joint difficult, man, difficult, and people still can't do it to this day. People still got to keep 1 foot in, 1 foot out, or 2 feet in, and then you got 2 cuffs on your wrist. But it just sometimes it's hard, man. It's a hard. I mean, because you just went through it.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I went through it. Whoa, let me not agree to everything because you like being funny. I just went through what?
Went through a transition of not doing the wrong thing anymore.
And I'm still going through it though, Tawfiq.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I wake up every day, I think about selling some yerks. I think about grabbing that firearm, and I'm a human, y'all.
What you gonna do with a firearm?
Or running one of these stores, see if I can get some for loose. Hold on, let me get the floor before you come in with your games and playing.
I'm not playing. Sir.
These are just thoughts. Do I act on them? No. I do not act on them. It get crunchy. I got a little job. I'm not rich. I'm not, up by any means necessary. I'm just making it through. I'm sliding through these little cracks, legitly. Paying bills. I feel good. I might be broke after doing all that, but I'll be like, yeah, this phone on another month. I get to stay in this little house another month. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's done. Now I got to worry about getting it done for next week. Humans, you're human. You always, and especially if you come from a background like we came from, and there's a lot of y'all that's an audience that come from a background like that. Yes, you will ponder and think like, damn, I used to ask you, all that money you used to make on the block, bro, when you was broke laying on the floor with your kids, man, you ain't never think like, damn, I go get me a little chumpy real fast, run that joint off real fast.
What'd you say? The block had 3 shifts, right? It was 10 to 6, 6 to 2, and 2 to 10. Each shift doing then at 10 to 15,000, or you can do 10,000 on a shift. At least on easy, so you making that you flipping a brick and like bagged up in 12s, 58s, how you want to do it. You doing that? You doing a brick and then in 3 days, 2 days. You know what I mean? So throughout the whole week, you I'm talking about bagged up. You doing a brick of cocaine like that. You doing like 3 to 4 bricks a week bagged up, and you doing that on a regular basis, easy. What you doing on a Sunday, everything closed. You're doing damn near 20 grand on Sundays, easy on the block, or whatever you're doing. So, and to be able to walk away from stuff like that and do stuff,